guys, welcome to another episode of Dirtbaggin in Potrero. Look at this, it's summer in Chicago. So excited about it, it took forever to come. But yeah, the next thing we're gonna be talking about is an area called the Fitness Cave. Before we get into that, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience going there kind of on my own solo. I mean, I did have friends that were there, but it wasn't like I was like going with them, right? So it was they both happened to be there, so we did climb together. But I was kind of the third wheel, or I was this guy kind of like meeting people on the spot, and then going with them and trying to get them inspired to go to the crags I wanted to go see. But really, it was a huge learning experience about, you know, being flexible as a climber, even though you have goals, and being open to go to other areas that you don't expect to go to. And yeah, just having fun either way. And I feel like I ended up getting on a lot of different climbs that I wouldn't have seen, went to different areas I wouldn't have gone to, met some really awesome people that I wouldn't have met, and it was just fun. Yeah, it could be tough at times to when you might not even have a partner for like a day or two, right? And you just gotta find a way to make it work, go explore, go check out the town, etc., or like really just be hyper social. And I grew a lot in that way. But yeah, so some of the things I got to see, I got to meet some people working on this climb called Habanero, which I kind of tried, but I got sketched out on because there's a really slabby, scary part at like the second clip. And no, it was like the first clip. I actually accidentally got footage of one of the guys I met actually doing the first three clips. So here's that real quick if you want to see it. I think I even got him doing that one sequence. Now I want to go back. Next time I go back, if I'm not like full-time in a career gig, I'm going to go for another full month, I think. And I'm going to try all the other stuff that I didn't get to. There's just so much stuff you can climb out there. And I didn't push myself on the bouldering because it was a pretty heinous hike. Like it felt like 45 minutes to an hour. And then the hardest climb is a V8 and it's a cave. So you can only try it like 3 times before you're worn out and you can't do anything else. So yeah, and that being said, I was always making plans with different climbers. At one point, we're gonna hike up to the Fitness Cave. It's an hour-and-a-half hike, there's a lot of cactus, it's really steep, but I kept pinging it around the time I was there, different climbers. Bickle for sure wanted to go, and then we just had to figure out more people to come with because it's just a big ordeal. And then Bickle came up with this awesome idea to hike at night while it's cool, because it gets really hot during the day, and just sleep under the stars, not even bring the sleeping bag or anything, and then just climb during the day, the next day, and then hike down that night. Because the hike's so exhausting, we can hike, rest up, instead of like hiking that day, being exhausted, having to take like an hour rest, and then, you know, do your climbing, and you would just be so exhausted. So we did that, and we got 2 Canadians that we made friends with, decided to come down with us, both really strong climbers. And yeah, and so we made the plan. Put all of our supplies together, ton of food, ton of water, made sure we had plenty of tequila, got tons of cacti in our legs, We saw a wild bull. It was a crazy experience, and it was really dark. And then the last like 20 to 30 minutes is almost like a 5-6 just scramble. It was pretty wild. And then we had a little campfire, enjoyed ourselves, had some beers, some tequilas. Don't worry, we cleaned up after ourselves. We just slept in a sleeping bag under the climbs, and just got ready for it the next day. Next day was pretty epic. We did a lot of climbs, warmed up on a super hard 511. Yeah, it was pretty hard. I think both of us, we didn't want to like hurt ourselves, so we like took a little bit and did it in our second go, not trying to play heroes. And then that kind of got us ready to start working on Beer Belly, which we wanted to do first, just kind of while we're still fresh. And so we just started jumping on it, just giving it some goes, learning the movement. And Bickle was really helpful. He was really supportive, and it was great having someone to climb the climbs with me and help give me new beta, and we'd pass beta back and forth and help each other out. It was really cool. The most difficult part about it was one of the hardest moves was just getting the clip. And at the top, there was all these different holds you can use, but nothing was good enough to really clip off of. So I think the main thing was figuring out the knee bar rests, because there's multiple knee bar rests, which I loved, which was awesome. And after the rests, pulling through the little cruxy moves, and then at the top, there's kind of like a heel hook. You're like totally upside down, and on the heel hook, my knee made a loud popping noise, and I thought it was done for. It was terrible. And so I got off, tried to walk around a little bit, wasn't sure if I would be totally shot or not. My knee felt totally unstable. I figured I just popped my LCL, but I didn't totally screw it up. And so took some rests, climbed it again I found that instead of trying to grab a crimp, I was able to get my thumb on top and turn it into a pinch. And I was pulling through there up to the finish holds, and then I was clipping really quick for the finish. Then I just went for it. I was like, my knee feels just stable enough, I just won't do the heel hook, and I'll just give it a shot. then Bickle, shortly after, he jumped on it, he crushed it as well. So it was a little send train. It was pretty sweet. And then after Beer Belly, I was still checking out my knee. I was like, I can't just give up. Like, we hiked all this way. And so we got on this other climb, which I'm gonna just put in the name in the title. I forgot what the name was. It was a 12B, but it was super scary because there's a huge boulder right behind us that you can literally like fall, whip into. So we were kind of like spotting each other. What I did is I clipped extra high on that one because, I don't know, I just didn't want to take a risk on that one. And it was a really, really, really hard bouldery sequence at the beginning with a bunch of just little tufas. This like wide tufa was just terrible. I had to like slap around to kind of get the little like nib that like helps people to stay on. But what's funny is I slipped off of it, but they were all just shouting and giving me that support. That's why support's so important as a belayer, or just as a friend while your person's like trying hard. I started to slide off. I was about to give up, but they were shouting, "Come on, come on!" And I held on to nothing, just friction, and pulled my body up as hard as I could. Yeah, and I got through it, and then finished it off. After that climb, I think everybody kind of rotated in trying it, but everybody felt a little sketched out about that start. We ended up calling it. Funny thing is, like, I had to actually take a stick and slowly climb my way back down. And then the next morning, I couldn't even walk. Eventually someone saw me crawling out of my tent, and they went and grabbed me crutches from the office. And I was like hitting up my physical therapist over Facebook, sending him pictures of my knee. I thought I was done for, but his name is James Lee. He was like, you know what, I think you'll be fine. Take some rest. Make sure to put plenty of heat on it. Get that blood flow. Just make sure to put it through the full range of movement. I did all that stuff, and then I decided I'm just gonna keep on trying. Like I was gonna give myself a few days, and then I'm gonna start trying surf a Rosa again, which is the 513A and the surf ball, really dusty surf ball, and that's what sets us up for the next episode.